Like all good cocktails, there are a lot of ingredients that make up good delegation. We're going to talk about 4 of them in more detail. Delegation without effective communication will fail. Claire recently delegated a task to one of her team that failed. It failed because they were not agreeing to the same action, and Claire did not explain the purpose of the task because she was in a hurry. What she should have done is made clear what the ultimate purpose of the task was, to make it easier to understand. She also should have clearly explained the task and ensured that her team member was comfortable with what she had to do. Also, she shouldn't have rushed. As a manager, your team is your number 1 priority and always deserves your attention. Our next story demonstrates the contrast between empowerment and ownership. Paul did this by assigning 2 tasks to his team as an experiment. They were completely empowered to fulfill the first task, but had no ownership of the timeline or the output expected of them. The second task had a clear timeline and output expectation, with the need to present to a senior director. The first task was only partially completed, and the end result was of poor quality. The second task was delivered on time and to a very high standard. I guess Nelson Mandela was right when he said, "Lead from the back and let others believe they are in front." Our next story demonstrates that you need to believe in your team to delegate tasks to them. Sometimes this involves taking a bit of a risk, but as long as belief exists on both sides, you'll get there. Sarah recently delegated a task to a member of her team who had expressed concern to her in the past that he was always being given the same types of tasks. He acknowledged the reason for this was because they were in line with his skill set, but he did feel that he was getting pigeonholed. So Sarah decided to give him a chance with a task that normally she wouldn't give him. He seemed very happy with this and really believed that he could do it. Sarah wasn't completely sure but trusted him to see it through. His first go fell a bit short of Sarah's expectations, but she knew he would get there in the end. She gave him constructive feedback and stayed positive throughout. It took a bit of time, but with Sarah's support, he completed the task effectively. Good delegation requires a good relationship between the manager and the team member. If something needs to be done, there needs to be willingness on both sides. Investing in the relationship will help you in the future when you need to delegate activities, so they'll be picked up more easily without much prompting. For example, Mark had a member of his team who used to work at the same level as him, but Mark was given a management position, which meant that he would be her manager. She wasn't happy with this, as she'd always been Mark's colleague, plus she'd worked at the company for much longer. So Mark handled it like this: if he wanted her to do something, he would approach her without telling her exactly what to do and how to do it, but trusting her that she knew how. Because of the relationship he has now with her, she accepts and acts on all his requests. Here are some delegation do's and don'ts. Thank you for listening to the story of our delegation cocktail. Remember the ingredients, and you'll be delegating like an expert in no time. Thank you.